This next one's going to be probably a little quicker. We're going to talk about the reflecting pool. So this is something dude, I couldn't get over it. This is going to live rent free in my head for probably the rest of my life. But it's a Fox News reporter standing in front of the reflecting pool, telling us how blue this obviously green pool is.
I'm here at the newly renovated reflecting pool. It's painted American flag blue. And the Democrats are going to tell you, oh, there's green algae. It looks so bad. But there's pool guys cleaning it up right now. No other president would do that. But President Trump is still cleaning it up.
No other president would do that. Obama already did that. They'll tell you the sky is red. They'll tell you whatever they need to. They'll lie right to your face, dude. Insane Jesse Waters saying that. So they spent $14 million on the reflecting pool, which immediately started having issues again, because the problem was not with the pool, the bottom of the pool being properly covered. It was with the algae that was growing in the pool. So they did this all right before summer. Summer water gets hot. When hot water gets hot, you see algae bloom. And when algae blooms, it makes the water really dark and murky and green, because it's all the algae spawn in the water. So not only did we pay $14 million for them to drain the pool, work on it, do all this, which was already more than it needed to be, it immediately started peeling. So then parts of that paint that they put on, the cheap ass paint, because everything Trump does is just a little plaster over what's already there. They also removed the good quality filters and pumps that Obama had put in, and didn't really replace them with anything of high quality, which is part of why we saw this algae boom happen so quickly. I mean, it happened days after the pool was finished and refilled. So
Trump's multi-million-dollar makeover of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool is not going swimmingly. Last month, the pool's original stone flooring was coated with a sealant and a quote.
The Trump administration, by the way, is saying that thing sticking out there is algae, that it's not a piece of the paint that's peeled up. I'll let you be the judge for yourself. I think you can tell when something is a piece of plastic sticking up and when it's a blade of algae kelp.
Industrial grade variation of swimming pool liner. But now videos show the new blue surface, which was handpicked by the president, is peeling. And earlier this week, workers were seen dumping bottles of hydrogen peroxide into the reflecting pool following an algae bloom. The Interior Department says the water is now, quote, crystal clear, and it will use a special tool to keep the algae from returning. CBS News senior national correspondent Mark Strassman joins us now from the National Mall. Mark, what you see? How's it looking?
Hey, Lindsay. Well, first of all, props to the workers who are out here all day today, a federal holiday.
So, like, they're out there because they screwed up the job. Finish the job, do it right.
Hot day, and they were out here in their rubber shoes and boots, and they were out here trying to clean this thing up, trying to clean the muck out of it, because, as you know, President Trump wants this to be American flag blue, and it's looking more like a Shrek green or a Grinch green, but a long way from blue. And the issue, of course, is how do we make this vision come to life? And so it looks more like what the president wants and less like what everybody else can see for themselves.
How do we fake it and make it look more like the delusional thing that Trump wants without paying for proper filter or understanding what it takes to actually make a pool blue? How do we give in to the Mad King's delusion?
And so that is the ongoing challenge here. As you know, there were a couple of no-bid contracts that were put out. The original budget was $12 million. It was $2 million. It ballooned to more than $16 million, and the color is still not right. Now, the Interior Department will say, look, this is just the leftover algae from the pipes when it was just sitting around for a while. But so far, it's not gone the way everyone expected, and it's probably not going the way anyone wants. Lindsay?
Okay, keep us posted.
Definitely not the way anybody wants, paying an extra $16 million, 8 times the original contract for a no-bid contract. He just gave it to a company, and then they don't even do the job right. Like, it used to be the case that companies would take like 10 times the extra of what the government actually should spend for the job. By the way, the government should just have people hired internally that do this at cost. Why are we paying 8 times at cost just to pay for the profits of this company, you know? But you know, it's obviously a buyout. It's a friend of Trump's who helped him during his campaign, and he wants to pay them back.
Joining us now from the White House lawn with the very latest. Hi, Kevin.
Great to see you all from competing in Olympics.
Sorry. So this is the next phase where everything goes wrong and they screwed up the work. They didn't upgrade everything to the level that it needed to be for a project this big because the company was not big enough to take on a contract like this, but they were just handed it because they wanted a fat stack of cash from the government. And so what do? You blame everyone but yourself for your terrible craftsmanship. So instead, the White House is now saying it was vandalism that caused it to go green. It wasn't the thing that kept happening to the pool over and over and over again before this, and that we were trying to fix in the first place and failed to. How could we have failed? The God Emperor declared it fixed, so it must be fixed. It's a real emperor's not wearing any clothes moment, you know. But Fox is going to roll with it, saying that it was vandalism, and it was instead of one thing I want you to see, the lack of evidence they have for the people that they supposedly said sabotage this thing.
Big-size swimming pools to allegedly vandalizing the reflecting pool right in front of the Lincoln Memorial, and of course that leads to handcuffs. And by the way, apparently he is not alone. We are speaking of, as you pointed out, Charlie, a former Olympian arrested for allegedly vandalizing the recently renovated pool here in the nation's capital. 67-year-old David Hearn, a 3-time Olympic canoeist, claims he was just cycling by when he noticed a piece of the pool's liner floating in the water, but apparently authorities didn't buy his story, and now they're accusing him of being one of several individuals trying to sabotage the project, with a pair of arrests so far. In fact,
so noticing the issue now is illegal. They're going to arrest you for noticing that the king has no clothes on. Yeah, that seems about right.
The president said as much in a post to Truth Social, announcing, quote, many additional people have been arrested for having to do with this disgraceful vandalism of our beautiful reflecting pool. What these terrible vandals have done is a true affront to both Presidents George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and should be dealt with accordingly. They also poured corrosive and destructive chemicals into the pool. And finally, he adds, we're very proud of what we have done with this magnificent structure, and we will get it repaired quickly to an equal level of beauty. The pool, for those of you who have
given what Trump thinks is an equal level of beauty based on his interior design, it's probably going to look like crap, but you know.
Been here, they've seen it restored to this beautiful cerulean as part of the America 250 celebration after years as an algae-covered mess. That is, of course, until the cleanup. Then suddenly we started seeing these reports surface of a new algae bloom forming. And
so it was an algae-coupled mess. They cleaned it up by draining the entire thing, putting a blue bottom on it, and then the algae came back. It's almost like the blue bottom wasn't the reason for the algae. It's almost like the pipes are bringing in water that already has algae in it, and then when it's hot out, the algae blooms. But no, it couldn't be that. It had to be somebody sabotaging him, some guy who happened to be riding by on his bike, noticing the issue, is apparently a terrorist.
Pictures of the peeling lower coating. Critics were slamming the work as shoddy, which, as it turns out, wasn't true. Now,
which, as it turns out, wasn't true. With no evidence whatsoever. Their evidence is he was riding by this monument. And, so that means he must have he thwarted it. How did you thwart this $12 million worth of work? They put in so much extra work. How come they didn't put any protection in? So weird.
Cleanup of the $14 million project is ongoing. Unfortunately, they may have to drain the pool to get it done properly. But with the 4th just around the corner, it's a pretty safe bet they'll be cleaning up around the clock.
I wonder if this guy feels shame when he reads that last line and looks down like that. If he ever thinks to himself, like, what a piece of shit he is, you know? Or if he just rolls right through it because he wants that paycheck. Like, I'm not sure, but you'd have to be intentionally dishonest to think that that's, you know, whatever, dude. Whatever.